Morning, good morning, good morning. Or whatever time of the day it is when you're watching this video, but I'm out for my morning walk. I want to welcome you to another episode of Ink Division. I had to slow down there a bit because I'm super excited, right? I'm super excited to deliver this message today, to give you more tools, more insightful practices that I use. And today, if you were struggling with procrastination and putting things off and worry, the things that I'm going to give you today are some powerful tools that I use in order to center myself, in order to realign myself, and in order to ultimately take action, put myself in a more resourceful state. I talked a little bit about that on yesterday, about being in a resourceful state. But how do you do that? You could do it a number of ways, but one of the key ways that I really like to use is centering with deep breathing, right? There's different methods of it. You can count for 4 seconds, breathing in, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? You can do it that way. You can do the same 4 seconds with the holding your breath, right? Also, 4 seconds breathing out. I learned this method from one of my mentors, rest in peace, Dr. Kenyatta from Delaware State University. He was always giving us powerful things that we can use, and I didn't know how powerful it was at the time, but I've been using it for years, and this was more than 20 years ago when he shared this with me. But depending on what stage you are in the practice and your health and different things like that, you can hold for far longer. Because one of the things that he showed us was we used to breathe in deeply for as long as you could hold it, like and so that was his practice that he shared with us. It helps the brain to calm down, to release anxieties and tensions within your body. I mean, it has a lot of benefits to it, but if you haven't been taught some breathing exercises, I implore you to give it a try, to incorporate this into your daily life. And like I say, you can do it with different methods. If you're just starting out, I would say just maybe try the 4 second method. 4 seconds in, breathing in, inhaling, hold your breath for 4 seconds, and then breathe out for 4 seconds. And here's another thing too. So some people teach just to breathe all through the nose and then through the mouth. Some people teach to breathe just through the mouth. So whatever works for you. There's different ways to do it. I like to try it each method, right? So sometimes I just breathe through the nose, right? Breathe out through the nose. Sometimes I breathe in through the nose, then breathe out through the mouth. So they may have different effects on you. So like I said, from a health vantage point, depending on how healthy you are, how long you can hold your breath, how it makes your body feel, just take all those different things into account, because I'm not a health doctor or a physician, so I don't want you to do a method that can cause stress or strain on your nervous system or your bodily functions or your organs. So start small. If it feels dangerous, or if it feels like something is uncomfortable for you, or placing you in a state that you're super nervous, try another method, or just determine if this is something that can work for you. By that, by those details of being able to sense through your own body. But that's one method that I use for centering this breathing. Another method that I also learned from Dr. Kenyatta at Delaware State University Rest in peace, Doc. Doc also used to give us these stretching exercises where, similar to what we use for track and field, the simple stretch of touching your toes, right? Being able to bend all the way down from a standing point and touching your toes and holding it for a few seconds, right? This also can create blood flow. It can release tensions. It can help you to get your muscles flowing. And also, we use another technique. I used to call it like a frog exercise, because it's kind of like you are stretching and bending. You're stretching and bending. So you're stretching down to touch your toes, but you place your elbows right inside of your knees, and kind of in a standpoint like a frog. So that's why I kind of call it the frog stretch. But maybe I will post a diagram or a screenshot to give an example of what it looks like, so that you have an example of what to do. But Doc was in his 70s at the time, but this stretch, he still could do it. He was just showing us how, when you take care of your body, if you have certain practices that that can help you maintain your health, your flexibility, and all that stuff really helps. But what I really like about these exercises is that, along with the breathing, because you can incorporate them together, you know, you can breathe deeply before you do the stretching, right? What I really like about these exercises is they help you to center, they help you to calm your mind, they help you to focus on something outside of whatever you're dealing with, you know, in your life at that time. And I also talk about this, that emotion generates motion, right? So how you feel deeply, the emotions that are running through your body, they actually are circulating through your body in emotion, right? And they can create, or they could cause you to either be in an empowered state where you want to take action, you want to do something, or if these emotions are negative, they may place you, depending on how you view it, they can place you in a state where you're feeling disempowered, unempowered to take action and do things. And I also talked about yesterday how even negative states at times can be that moment where you just get fed up and you say, hey man, I had enough. So in regards to procrastination, I just think that these exercises are super powerful in order to make you change where you're focusing on at that moment. Because sometimes we're looking in the past too much. We're judging ourselves based on the things that have happened previously in our lives, instead of being able to recenter and align with the energy and the powerful state that we can use to take action to the things that we've been putting off. And so I'm not unlike you guys in the fact that I've also procrastinated and put things off in my life. And so that's the reason why even sharing this is powerful for me, because it helped me to realize, what do I do in the moments where I feel unmotivated, or I'm overthinking, second guessing, or I'm just not taking immediate action when I know it's something that I should do, or I know that it's something that I've said that I would like to do for quite some time. So I hope that these techniques that I'm sharing are impactful to you. I hope that you give them a try. Hope that you can do some deep breathing, some stretching, and I also want to give you a few more, because there's tons of different ones that I use. So meditation is another one, and a lot of people think that meditation is just this framework where you have to have your eyes closed, you have to touch your fingers together, you have to do deep breathing. You can incorporate one or multiple, or you can incorporate all. I use all of them at different times, and sometimes I meditate with my eyes open, which is basically like daydreaming. I know we've all done this as children when we're more imaginative, or we've done this at times where we're even driving. Sometimes when you drive, you are not focusing on the road. Your mind is going through so many different ideas, so many different things that are running through your thoughts that I've experienced this, and if you've attested to this too, you guys could just write in the comments that you've experienced it too. I've been driving at times where I look up and I pass my exit. I'm like, wow, I wasn't focused on driving in that moment. My mind was really thinking about something else. Or there's a specific route or a specific path that you generally take that your mind may just kind of place you on autopilot and just route you to the route that you normally take. You may be heading towards home instead of the intended route that you have for that day. So I just hope that what I'm sharing with you guys today, something that you can use. So in regards to meditation, I like to close my eyes and really center in and focus on my breathing. So like I said, you can do the 4-second method, or however long you can hold your breath for, and then breathe out. I also use mudras, which is, like I was stating, mudras are the way that you hold your fingers tips, like this, or like this, or like this. They are energetic and also nervous system like connections or connecting points. When you touch certain fingers together, they affect your body in different ways. So one mudra can be used for clarity, which is the way or focus. This is a real popular one. A lot of people use this one, but there's also one like this. There's one like this. Okay, so there's tons of different ones that you can use in order to hold your fingers. If you guys are interested in mudras, I can also post a screenshot for that too, and showing which mudras affect which parts of your nervous system, which mudras regulate which chakras, and how they're aligned with your body in a physical way, and how you can use these spiritually too in order to connect and resonate on a higher frequency. So I've learned these different techniques from different people. I kind of learned mudras in a way from, if you guys are familiar with this, put this in the comments box as well, from Jose Silva. Jose Silva had a technique called the Silva method, and the Silva method it's a way that you can place your body into altered states. So you have these different frameworks or ways that your brain actually slows down, right, and processes information differently. So the different states are like called alpha, delta, theta, beta, I believe as well. But I can also post a screenshot of that so you guys can check it out. But what it is that, so there's different states that you actually place yourself in. You may have more access to ideas. You may have more access to heightened abilities, or being able to connect with your higher self. So with the Silva method, they use the breathing techniques that I've explained, similar like deep breathing, recognizing your breathing, and also focusing in on certain parts of your body when you close your eyes. So what that looks like is, so you can close your eyes and listen to an audio that's putting you into a hypnotic, or kind of like a self-regulating hypnotic trance. So you can breathe in deeply, 1, 2, 3, 4. They say you visualize the number 4. You want to see the number 4 in your mind, displayed on your mind, right? So you want to see the number 4 times as you count down. 1, 2, 3, 4. You may be breathing deeply while you're doing this, right? And you're using a few different methods at the same time. So you're using imagination, right? You're using mudras, because you can also hold your fingers as well while you're doing this. And it's also taught us that you can learn how to access these frameworks by practicing to each time that you touch your fingers. You can access that level of alpha or of delta or whatever by your body recognizing that each time I touch my fingers together like this, I get in a relaxed state. I get in a hypnotic state where I'm more self-empowered. And so I use visualization with these as well in order to focus on intended outcomes or to focus on practicing. So like this has been documented scientifically through when they had some experiments where they took a look at high-performing athletes like Olympians, and what they did was they practiced their event or whatever sport that they are involved in their minds. And so the mind is so powerful that the mind can't substantiate the difference from actually performing a race or performing on the piano or singing or getting on stage to do a speech. When you imagine it and you place yourself in those moments, your body automatically reacts when they place these different scientific patches or nodes all over your body in order to see how your body's reacting, how your nerves are reacting. They've been able to see that the body can't substantiate the difference from actually performing, shooting the basket, or when you're imagining shooting the basket. So they've run these experiments which have been so powerful to show that even if you are practicing to be on stage and doing comedy, like I used to do this sometimes. Before I did my first comedy bit, I would put myself in an imaginative state and just imagine being on stage and doing my comedy and practicing my jokes and seeing the people laughing, seeing the people giving me a good response. And so I did that for quite some time before I performed my first jokes, before I shared my impressions, because I like to do a lot of voices and stuff like that. Like there's an old man here that he's around Octavius. He's all right. If y'all want to listen to him, that's on y'all. Because the thing is, he may know or he may not know what he's talking about. So I like to play around a lot and do that in order to put myself in empowered states, resourceful states, to practice things that I'm intending to do. And this has worked so well for me that I have to share it. So if you are, like I said, struggling with procrastination, if you are struggling with maintaining some accountability, I also have my clarity guide down in the description box, or also in my comments, that you can access for free. You can download the link for free and check that out, along with these centering methods that I'm sharing with you. And I stated on yesterday, but I'll also state some of the other ones as well that can help you with procrastination by placing yourself in a more positive state. You can just do things that make you ultimately feel good. And that's not talking about drugs or negative things that could impact your body or make you hallucinate. But what I'm saying is that you can use music, you can use motion, exercising, you can use stretching, you can use, for me, writing. Writing also centers and places your mind focused on the actual ideas that are running through your mind. Focus on placing them down. And like I said, also, when you actually write with a pen and place it to a paper, it has a different type of impact than writing does when you're typing. So if you want to center more, go to the original way of writing, which is a pen and a paper, and write in that manner, and check the differences, how it feels, and how you are more emotionally or less emotionally aligned, or more in touch with yourself and your ideas, more calm, more centered, compared to when you actually are typing your ideas down, or when you're typing, your thoughts or your intentions or your plans for the day. So I'm super excited to share this content with you. So a few other things that I wrote down, because I wrote these things down, but I also realized that sometimes it doesn't flow the same when you try to use a scripted version. So I like to do these vlogs just to kind of go off of the top of my head with them. But be more forgiving of yourself. And this is powerful, because a lot of times people teach forgiveness. They teach forgiveness for about forgiving other people. But what about for yourself? What about for the things that you may be in regret about? What about for the things that, are affecting you because you haven't let them go? Be kind to yourself. Be gentle. Look in the mirror and say, hey, man, I love you. I appreciate you. I'm proud of you. And some people may think, like, man, why would you do that? Why would you talk to yourself? Because you already do. You talk to yourself in your mind so many different ways. We talk to ourselves sometimes in the wrong way, by thinking negatively, by worrying, by doubting. These are ways to talking to yourself, but you don't think of it because it's not outward expression, it's internal. So you can do this internally. You can do it with affirmations, because these are also powerful. One of my favorite ones is, all the things I seek are seeking me. Another one is, what God has for me, or what the divine has for me, no one can take it from me. Or everything is always working in my favor is another one. Despite outward appearances, despite how, things may look in that moment, everything is always working in my favor. So when you align yourself with this type of thinking, this framework, it could be far more empowering than you stating stuff to yourself like, this always happens to me. Why does this happen to me? Why am I dealing with it? Why is it that so-and-so was able to accomplish this, that, and the third? Why do they have this type of home and I don't? Why is it? We can frame questions in a way that can be so disempowering or so negative that it's like an autopilot, or a way that we are affecting ourselves subconsciously without knowing that, man, I am not putting myself in a resourceful state. I am not able to, take action towards the things that I really want to do, because I'm not empowered. I'm not feeling positive. My vibration is low, but there's a reason for that. And once you learn that you can control these things actively, consciously, and subconsciously, it becomes super powerful for you, and you'll start seeing some differences in your life. And I want to preface this that a lot of times the way the world is now, people want immediate results, immediate actions. We may say like a microwave society. People make a lot of money off of schemes. People make a lot of money off of dishonesty and get rich quick type of thinking. And they're working off of the framework that other individuals want immediate access to success without delayed gratification. So they are selling you on those points. So what I'm telling you is that anything that's worth having, it may take a little more effort. It may take a little more time. But one thing about these things that I'm sharing with you is that when you align yourself with positivity, when you align yourself with the right states and the right way of thinking, that it'll start looking like you're performing miracles. People, opportunities, and just all kinds of things will start popping up for you, whereas people will start looking at your life and saying, man, why is he so lucky? Because that's another question that I ask myself. why am I so lucky? Why am I so blessed? Why do things always work out for me? So it's very empowering. It's very impactful. And I love the fact that I can look back at my life and say that as a child, I was really fortunate to have two educators in my family. My maternal grandmother, Sadie Cooper, rest in peace, I love you. I honor her in these moments with teaching because she was a teacher. She taught me so much. She encouraged me. She let me know that I was intelligent, even if I was having trouble understanding something. Just because you don't understand, that may mean that you may learn from a different vantage point. Some of us are visual learners. Some of us are practical learners, where we have to actually do it one time in order to believe. But once you find out your framework and your way of thinking and what works best for you, then you have the hack, you have the secret to unlock your abilities where you'll stop procrastinating, you'll stop doubting. And also, I honor my paternal grandmother in these moments, Julia Aku. She was also a teacher in the system at Asbury Park. And so what she would do was she would edify me and teach me in ways where she's not saying do this, do this, do this, but she would place me on the stage or in the opportunity where I could showcase my talents and abilities. And a lot of that came from church. So at the church on the corner, and on the corner of Atkins Avenue, right on the borderline of Asbury and Neptune, in that small church, I had my first speeches. I had my first roles to speak in front of people. I had my first solo song. And also, I gotta acknowledge my mom and my dad. My mom was a writer as well. She didn't have the best patience, but I learned from watching her. I learned from watching how much she used to write her thoughts and ideas down. And from my dad, you know, my first singing group, he taught us all our harmonies and stuff for Boys to Men. He taught us every note, every inflection. He taught me when I was flat and what that mean. Why are you, you know, doing your notes this way? So I'm saying that also because it just takes me back to mentorship. Your mentorship can come from family and it can come from people outside as well. So I've also had some very powerful mentors in my life, like I said, with Dr. Kenyatta sharing things with me, but also my coaches. My first coach, Stu Tave at Asbury Park Middle School. One quick story: as I was kicked off of the cross country, so I was kicked off of the soccer team. I was on the soccer team for only one day. I made one day of practice. I wasn't that good, to be honest. I was really following my uncle and trying to emulate him in some ways. But when they kicked me off the team, I was so hurt from missing one day of practice. I cried. I came home and my mom took me back and she fussed out the coach at the time, Mr. Peterson. And so Mr. Tave accepted me for the cross country team, and the rest is history. So from there, he was a coach of mine from middle school, even through high school, even a guidance counselor. And later in high school, I have to honor Mr. G, Coach Tony Giordano. He was one of the individuals that even when I made it for the Junior Olympics and at 14, my freshman year, he was one of the people that gave money out of his pocket to ensure that I could make that trip, you know, to help sponsor me. Mr. Giordano, along with, you know, so many other teachers and individuals throughout my life that have edified me. Coach Joe Burton at Delaware State University, when I didn't have money for housing my second year in college, even though I was on a partial track and field and cross country scholarship, he allowed me and 4 other athletes to stay in one of his homes that he actually owned, you know, as an entrepreneur. So that was money out of his pocket that he ensured that I could attend college again my second year. And I'm just sharing these stories to say that when you align yourself with the things that you want to do, the people, the coaches, the mentors, the opportunities will come, and it will be magical. Because I think it would be remiss if I didn't mention that when I took off. I went to Rowan University for a year. I left, moved to Atlanta, Georgia. And so when I had my 2 years of being in the singing group intake and we had the mediocre success, I was able to tour and stuff like that, but it didn't pan out. We didn't blow up the way I thought we, even though I was able to tour with all of these big time rappers like Too Short, 8 Ball and MJG and Crisscross. At the time, it was exciting to do it, but I didn't make any money and it wasn't enormously successful. But at that time, when I was at a crossroad in my life trying to figure it out, when I left the group and I knew I wanted to go back to college, a friend of mine at the time actually recommended that he could reach out to the coach. And when he contacted Joe Burden, I had a scholarship within a week. I had my application, acceptance letter. It all happened so fast. It was like magical. But I'm just sharing these things with you to say that when you desire something strongly in your heart and you align with it, when you learn to center yourself, when you are able to place your mind, your thoughts, and your emotions, your intentions, all in the same wavelength, your life can become magical in an instant. Even though some things take time to develop, take time to build, I can also recall moments where it was almost instant. Or even when I started writing for Jadora magazine, when I was a salesman for Verizon. I was selling websites, and so the gentleman and I were trying to touch bases on multiple occasions. This was probably my 4th appointment with him, but he always had something that came up. He always had something that stalled out where we had to reschedule the appointment. So when that happened, the last time we were finally able to meet, and the gentleman, he owned an apparel store that sold all kinds of soccer gear, and it was exciting just to see a black man that was an entrepreneur who had enormous success at the time. And so he didn't go for the website, but his smile was lighting up so heavy. I was like, what's going on? He's like, man, listen, I'm not interested in the website, but I am interested in you. I'm impressed by the person that you are and you know what you're able to display. So I want to offer you an opportunity. I want to show you something. He walked me to his car. He pulled out a magazine, called Jadora magazine, and he wanted me to be a salesman. He was thinking along the lines of, man, this guy can sell. But my intentions were not about sales. I was thinking like, yeah, I'll agree to sell it, but are you willing to give me an opportunity to submit some articles? A light bulb went off in my head. Yeah, I could write for this platform. I could write for this magazine. And so he agreed. Every article that was submitted, every editorial that was submitted was published in Jadora magazine, and the rest was history. I was able to go on and write for other publications. I was able to go to... but man, I say these things just to empower you, to encourage you, to keep going. And when you're feeling procrastination, go ahead and use these centering methods that I talked about. Be kind, be gentle to yourself, be forgiving to yourself. Also, find mentors and people that will edify you and lift you up in ways that you may not be able to see your full potential, but they may be able to see all the potential in you. And so I've been going on and on, but I feel good just releasing this message, just encouraging someone out there who may have a dream, who may have a goal that you've been talking about for a long time, but you haven't taken the steps, and you don't know why you're not encouraged, you don't know why you're not empowered, but you may be thinking too much about your past. You may be thinking too much about the success of others. Think about yourself. Talk positive to yourself. Be encouraging, be loving. And once again, for the last time, if it helps you, if anything in this video has helped you, if anything in this video resonated with you, please leave a like, a comment, or share the content with somebody that can use it and can help them as well. This is another episode of Ink the Vision. I'm Daron Octavius. It's been a pleasure. I'm super excited to deliver this type of content. If you can use some aligning with some additional tools, check out my clarity guide in the description or the comments. And I want to thank you for taking the time out of your day to check out Ink Division. Much success, much love, much encouragement to you. But more than anything, go ahead and apply some systems and some tools to your life so that you can see some change, you can see some results, and you can feel better about the actions that you're taking. This is Daron Octavius for Ink Division. I'm out. Peace. Have a good day.